disaster recovery with Managed Instance Link utilizing my SQL Server 2022 Developer Edition and my free offering of Managed Instance on today's Tales from the Field.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
If this is your first time finding us on Tales from the Field, give us a like and hit that subscribe. For all those new subscribers, some of you may know it's been a little chilly down here in Florida, but it's your warmth that is thawing us out. And to all those loyal subscribers, thank you so much for raising up and promoting the channel. We greatly appreciate it. We like to drop content on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays, we have this thing we call the round table, where we raise up links, blogs, posts, put together by you, the Azure Data community, for the Azure Data community. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we like to drop this thing called SQL Tech Bits. You're watching one of those now. Let's get over to it. All right, today I'm going to talk about Managed Instance Link bidirectional failover that is in preview. Here you can see how the architecture is or works. You have availability groups, and then you have the distributed availability group. Recommend also you go through the prerequisites document, or this document here that shows us the things that we need to set up: your network connectivity, how you should configure your SQL Server instance. I will be utilizing the configure link with SSMS document to walk through this demo. It'll be in the description of the video. All right, over here in our portal, I have my Jumpbox. I have my SQL Server, which has Developer Edition installed on it, and I have my free managed instance offering. That's what we'll be utilizing today. Here's some queries that come from the prereq documents. I recommend you run those. You can see there the CU you're on is always on enabled. That's a tongue twister. And then here, make sure that you're on the correct version of SQL Server Management Studio, minimum of 19.2. First thing we're going to do is test connectivity. Right mouse click on our database, select Azure SQL Managed Instance Link, test connection. Click next to the splash screen, make sure our SQL Server requirements are met, log into our managed instance, go ahead and hit next. Once we hit next, you're going to fill in an endpoint here. I already had one on my server for our HADR endpoint, so that was already filled in for me. I'm going to go ahead and click next. You're going to see a summary here of what's going to be tested. We're going to hit finish. Validate that all of our statuses are green and our servers can connect with each other. All right. We're going to right mouse click on our database. We're going to go to Azure SQL Managed Instance Link and click New. Go next here. Fill in MI link. Here I'm leaving MI link because I'm selecting multiple databases. It'll append at the end of the name. And we're going to use the link for disaster recovery. We're going to go next. We're going to make sure our server readiness and our availability group readiness are green. And then here we're going to choose our Stack Overflow 2010 and our 2013 database. We're going to click next. We're going to add our secondary replica. This is our managed instance. We're going to log into the necessary resources, click OK, click next. After we validate there and we have our summary, let's go ahead and hit finish. Once this is complete, we will have our managed instance links set up for each of our individual databases. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. You can see there that I have my availability groups. I have my distributed availability groups with my database name appended to the MI link, and I have my distributed availability groups on my managed instance. Let's go ahead and do a failover. You're going to right mouse click on the database you're interested in again, and you're going to select failover. It's going to fill in some information here. We're going to go ahead and select next. We're going to sign into the resources we need to. We're not going to select link removal. We want this for disaster recovery. We don't want it to remove the link. We're going to select next. We're going to go ahead and look at our summary and hit finish. Now this is going to fail over. So let's take a look at what this looks like after the failover. Now you can see here that underneath our distributed availability group, that our 2010 database has failed over. The SQL Server instance is now our secondary. If you notice, the 2013, our SQL Server is still our primary because each individual database has its own managed instance link. Let me re-emphasize that again as I fail back over. Each database gets its own managed instance link. It gets its own distributed availability group. You can see here, once I fail back, both are sitting on the SQL Server Instance 2022 Developer Edition as the primary. And that's it, folks. That's the big reveal. That's really cool. In preview, we can fail over from our SQL Server instance to our managed instance and back from our managed instance to our SQL Server instance. Bidirectional failover. Here, I'm going to run a query against my SQL Server 2022 instance. You can see there that I can run queries. I can update my tables. You can see in my managed instance here, I ran my select query, but let's run this update. Oh, got an error. What's the error? Let's zoom in a little bit. It failed to update the database. That's because our secondary, just like in our availability groups on premises, is read only. So we could offload some reporting here to our disaster recovery server. All right, deep breath. I've been wanting to demo that since it came out. Managed instance link with bidirectional failover to me is a game changer because now we can add managed instance to our disaster recovery architecture. If you have a SQL Server 2022 with a minimum cumulative update of 10, you can now utilize managed instance as a disaster recovery server. And you can fail back once you get your SQL Server instance back up and running. It's huge. It's huge, friends. I really enjoyed seeing this work and seeing this in action. You know where we'd like to keep this going in the comments down below. Are there things you would like to see our managed instance team add to the managed instance link? Are there things that you believe are missing? Let us know. And as always, be good to each other.
If I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication.